Chapter 1 of Jarwin and Cuffy. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Esther and Simonides. Jarwin and Cuffy by R.M. Ballantyne. Chapter 1. On a certain morning, not very long ago, the sun, according to his ancient and admirable custom, rose at a very early hour, and, casting his bright beams far and wide over the Pacific, lighted up the yellow sands and the verdant hills of one of the loveliest of the islands of that mighty sea. It was early morning, as we have said, and there was plenty of life, animal as well as vegetable, to be seen on land and sea and in the warm, hazy atmosphere. But there were no indications of man's presence in that beautiful scene. The air was perfectly calm, yet the gentle swell of the ocean terminated in great waves, which came rolling in like walls of glass, and fell on the coral reef like rushing snow wreaths, with a roar as loud as thunder. Thousands of sea birds screamed and circled in the sky. Fish leaped high out of their native element into the air, as if they wished to catch the gulls, while the gulls, seemingly smitten with a similar desire, dived into the water as if they wished to catch the fish. It might have been observed, however, that while the fish never succeeded in catching the gulls, the latter very frequently caught the fish, and, without taking the trouble to kill them, bolted them down alive. Cocoa-nut palms cast the shadows of their long stems and graceful tops upon the beach, while, farther inland, a dense forest of tropical plants, breadfruit trees, bananas, etc., rose up the mountain sides. Here and there open patches might be seen, that looked like fields and lawns, but there were no cottages or villas. Droves of pigs rambled about the valleys and on the hillsides, but they were wild pigs. No man tended them. The breadfruits, the cocoa-nuts, the bananas, the plantains, the plums, all were beautiful and fit for food, but no man owned them or used them, for, like many other spots in that sea of coral isles and savage men, the island was uninhabited. In all the wild expanse of ocean that surrounded that island there was nothing visible save one small, solitary speck on the far-off horizon. It might have been mistaken for a seagull, but it was in reality a raft, a mass of spars and planks rudely bound together with ropes. A boat's mast rose from the centre of it, on which hung a rag of sail, and a small red flag drooped motionless from its summit. There were a few casks on the highest part of the raft, but no living soul was visible. Nevertheless, it was not without tenants. In a hollow between two of the spars, under the shadow of one of the casks, lay the form of a man. The canvas trousers, cotton shirt, blue jacket, and open necktie bespoke him a sailor, but it seemed as though there was nothing left save the body of the unfortunate tar, so pale and thin and ghastly were his features. A terrier dog lay beside him, so shrunken that it looked like a mere scrap of door-matting. Both man and dog were apparently dead, but they were not so in reality, for, after lying about an hour quite motionless, the man slowly opened his eyes. Ah, reader, it would have touched your heart to have seen those eyes. They were so deep-set, as if in great caverns, and so unnaturally large. They gazed round in a vacant way for a few moments, until they fell on the dog. Then a gleam of fire shot through them, and their owner raised his large, gaunt, wasted frame on one elbow, while he gazed with a look of eagerness, which was perfectly awful, at his dumb companion. "Not dead yet," he said, drawing a long sigh. There was a strange, incongruous mixture of satisfaction and discontent in the remark, which was muttered in a faint whisper. Another gleam shot through the large eyes. It was not a pleasant look. Slowly, and as if with difficulty, the man drew a clasp knife from his pocket, and opened it. As he did so, his brows lowered and his teeth became clenched. It was quite plain what he meant to do. As he held the open knife over the dog's head, he muttered, "Am I to die for the sake of a dog?" Either the terrier's slumbers had come to an end naturally at a fortunate moment, or the master's voice had awakened it, for it opened its eyes, raised its head, and looked up in the sailor's face. The hand with the knife drooped a little. The dog rose and licked it. Hunger had done its work on the poor creature, for it could hardly stand, yet it managed to look in its master's face with that grave, simple gaze of self-forgetting love which appears to be peculiar to the canine race. The savage glare of the seaman's eyes vanished. He dropped the knife. "Thanks, Cuffy, thanks for stopping me. It would have been murder. No, no, my daughter, you and I shall die together." His voice sank into a murmur, partly from weakness, and partly from the idea suggested by his concluding words. "Die together," he repeated. "Surely it ain't come to that yet. What, John Jarwin, are you going to give in that easily? Are you to haul down your colours on a fine day, with a clear sky like this overhead? Come, cheer up, lad, you're young and can hold out a good while yet. Hey, old dog, what say you?" The dog made a motion that would, in ordinary circumstances, have resulted in the wagging of its tail, but the tail was powerless to respond. At that
Sample complete. Ready to continue?